In this tutorial, I want to show you how to vectorize a raster image in Illustrator. You're going to select New File, and mine is a poster, so I'm going to come over here and put it at 11 by 17 inches. You can play around with it, go look at print and see if there's anything that interests you more there. Also, make sure if you do choose like A4 and it goes to points, kick that over to inches, so that you know exactly what you're working with. Points will be very, very tiny and it gets kind of obnoxious. So I'm going to change that back to 11 by 17, typical poster size. I'm not going to worry about margins or any advanced options here. I'm just going to click Create. Okay, so again, you'll notice my layers are already open. Again, if your layers aren't open, you'll just come over to Windows. You'll go to your workspace and make sure you are on Essentials Classic. I have already chosen an image off the internet. Ideally, you want it to be royalty free, but if you want to do an homage to an artist you like, I am okay with it for the purposes of this class, learning and artistic purposes. You cannot, again, make money off of this. That would not be legal. So this is just for educational purposes. I'm going to come over here to File, and I am going to select Place. I took a screenshot here that I'm going to use. I'm going to place it in the corner here, and I'm going to scale it up. So in Illustrator, if you hold on Shift as you scale it, it will scale proportionally. If you do not hold Scale, it's not going to shift proportionally. So that looks pretty all right. I'm just going to come over here to Align, and I'm going to center the image. And if you want to center it again, you can do that. Why not? Okay, so I'm going to open up our layers here. And with this layer selected, I am going to select Image Trace. Now, you'll have a bunch of different options here, and you can play around with them. But for the sake of this, and keeping it simple, I would suggest starting with 6 colors. And you'll see here that this has rasterized my image. It's super simple, super easy to do that. Okay, so I also would like you to add a background to your poster image, and you can do this a couple different ways, but I'm going to show you how to create a new layer. You'll notice the layer here is on the top, and that's okay for now. I'm just going to use my shape tool to drag and make this shape. And then what I'll do to make sure it's behind the image is bring it down here. You can also kind of play around with that. I just double click on that color there. You can go find a hex code on the internet, or you can just play around with your color wheel. That may not look amazing with that blue color, so let's do something a little more unexpected. In graphic design, blue is for background, as they say. We'll just go with that for now. And, oops, cancel. Click off of there. Okay, so you might want to mess around with it a little bit more, but I do want you to add another layer of text as well. So that, again, you might need to mess around with it to be on top of layer 1 or whatnot. So I'm actually going to rename these also text, color, and image. Just a good habit to get into as you start to work. So this is just a really basic poster. Again, you'll also notice I screen grabbed some of that white. That's not amazing. We don't love it. We could, crop that out in Photoshop and then edit it in Illustrator is what I would do. So I'm going to just, you can make a text block or Command Z, get rid of that. I actually think I'm just going to use a point type tool. So I'm just going to click once, and I'm going to just write Charlie XEX. That is really tiny. I'm going to highlight it, or Command A, which is the shortcut to select it all. And I want you to go to DeFont or some other kind of font program, and I don't want you to use a default font from Adobe. I want you to start thinking about different fonts. So I have installed a couple fonts on here. Let me find them. Okay, so I have chosen this font and I'm going to make it a bit bigger as well. You can also free transform it, but we'll just use that. I'm going to come back over here and I am going to select, and I would like to align it. So again, that might not be as big as I want it. You can mess around with it. I'm going to actually put it at 100. Move it around some more. You can change the color of it as well by just coming over here, selecting it all, coming over here, and so this is just the basic, and I'm going to go back. I like the other one. So again, always Command or Control Z on your Command on Mac, Control Z on a PC, and that'll pop you right back to where you were. But this looks decent enough for now. One last thing I want to mention that you can do on your own is to add some kind of secondary or additional text to this assignment. It could be tour dates, it could be a movie showing time, just some other kind of information using a secondary typeface. So I want you to use 2 typefaces, your image trace, and some kind of background for this project. And this is just to start to get you familiar with Illustrator. There is so much in this program you can do, but this is a good starting point, and I hope that you have fun with this poster project. So to export your file, you're going to want to come over here. Firstly, save your file, save as. Save it as a local file to your computer. I don't love saving it to the cloud. I'm not going to go through all that, but just know to save it to your computer. Saving it as an Illustrator file just means you can come back and work on it in all of its layers, share it with colleagues. They can work on it with all the layers that are there. But to finalize your export, you don't want all those layers. You want the computer or your printer to be able to read it. So you're going to File, you're going to Export, you are going to Export As. And I just want you to practice saving it as a PDF in this instance. There's different reasons for different file formats. We won't go super into that right now. However, I want it as a PDF for this exercise. So Charlie XCX, save to your Avc100 file on your desktop, and then just export. I already have it there. I'm just going to hit replace because it's already there. Export. And now you should be able to upload it to Canvas.